everyone. Welcome to Left Undone Incomplete Investigations. I'm Kathy. Let me turn down my music. It's loud in my ears so we can start this show. 1 second. Like I said, I need a backstage person. We're going to have to work on that. Okay. Let me see who's here. My name's Kathy. I am a creator of Left Undone Incomplete Investigations. If you're new, this is a brand new time for me to do a live stream. So maybe we will get hopefully some new people to join us. Hello, Lori. Hey, Sun Hiker Mutt. How are you? And this is a new case that Lori dug up. And you couldn't figure out where the music was coming from. It's my new fancy. I got fancy. I learned how to put music on in my intro. Fancy stuff, right? Getting bigger and fancier all the time. So if you are new, I'll just tell you who I am. My name's Kathy. I'm a registered nurse. I am a mom of 4. I am a yaya. My family's Greek, so I'm a yaya. 2 grandchildren. And I started my true crime channel right before the pandemic. Was really busy during the pandemic. I was posting a lot, but I do work full time. So now I'm changing my hours. I'm going to have 2 jobs, one part-time, one sort of part-time. And hopefully we can do more of this, more live streams during the week. We do a Saturday live stream every Saturday that I can possibly do one. And long form videos too as well. Trying to follow some cases that aren't out there. There's so many. It's actually a little bit hard because if you look at all the YouTube creators, they all follow the same case because they get the views. But there's cases that really need the attention. That's what we've been talking about, trying to find some cases that really are good cases that really need attention. So, okay, my audio's good, you guys. Everything's cool. Very fancy. Yes, fancy. We're getting fancy. So wait, hold on. Let me change some things. It's this. So anyway, this case, my good friend in the chat and my mod that she is, Lori Day, she found this case before and she thought it'd be a good one. And then she got me hooked. And literally hooked. Now, I've not gotten that far into the podcast on this show. There is a podcast. It's called Hide and Seek. It's really good. You know, the guy the podcaster, James, his name's drawing me blank for a minute now. But anyway, he reminds me a lot of Payne Lindsay, the way he does his case, on Up and Vanished. I think he's going to be a real successful podcaster. He's in his 3rd season. He quit his job to be a full-time podcaster. And that is super cool that he's working on cases like this. They made a point to say kind of how I feel in the podcast that look what happened with Gabby Petito. Gabby Petito, the whole world was following Gabby Petito. But then there's people like this Brittany Shank Wallace that's been missing now for going on 5 years. And even when I Google, I don't get that much. I even asked ChatGPT to give me some background because ChatGPT can go back that far. ChatGPT is like, I don't know anything about this one. So kind of a bummer, you know what I mean? That it's not out there. So we're going to help. We're going to help. James Basinger. Yes, we are going to help get this case out there. And again, I don't know how many people we'll have today in the chat, but we do encourage new people to please say hello. Yeah, right? And tell us where you're from. And if you know this case, please help us. Please help us. We would love that for you to chime in the chat or even, let us know. We have a Discord channel. You are welcome to join. We made a Brittany Shank Wallace channel that we are discussing it in Discord. So if anybody wants to come into Discord, you're welcome to do that. Left Undone also has memberships where you're privy to all the Discord channels that we follow, all the cases we follow. We have a great community, lots of discussion, great mods, no drama, right? We don't have drama, no drama. And we just are those kind of people that have been following true crime and really want to get people's stories out there. So that's what we're all about. And you guys, my audio is good and everything. On Saturday, what? Why did you say no? No what? No. Lori's got no, 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 no. Um, and mods, my mods, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you guys. Some of you are so great, and all of you are dedicated. I guarantee that. But I really appreciate you being here. Hi, Lindsay. Nice to see you. Hey, Lindsay, have you heard of this case? This would be a good one for you to share because it's really interesting. But I am hooked on the podcast now. Podcast is called Hide and Seek. James Basinger and is the podcaster. And the story, it's his third season. So this is season 3. Oh, okay. I'm gonna start talking about it and yeah, you'll be interested. I know what kind of stuff you like. So well, I don't know that well, but I know the true crime stuff. Yes, you'll definitely have to listen. So, okay. So let's go over this case. I'm going to be looking over here a little bit. If I'm not looking at you, that's why. And just give you the background on this case. All right. So it's a complicated case. It's one of those cases that you're like, wait, what? Who? Huh? For real. Um, there's, it's not your Barbie doll family. It's not your average like blonde hair, blue eyed, sweet innocent girl go missing case. It is a sweet girl go missing case, but the family has a lot of dynamics. There's addiction and there's all kinds of stuff, messy family relationships for sure. But it doesn't make this case any less important. And that, we've all had our people in our family that have struggled with relationships and addiction and stuff like that. I don't know if we all have, but I have. I had one really bad rebellious teenager that I didn't know if I was going to live through him. He's great now, but he's also 32 years old now. So he put me through hell with all kinds of stuff. Juvenile hall, drug addiction, yada, yada. So anyway, I can relate to families that have had these kind of messy situations. And then, so that's only 25% of my kids, though. That's pretty good, right? 75% of them are didn't have those issues, right? So let's look at something real quick here before we go into this. All right, now let's get back to this case. Okay. So we like having you here. Please please subscribe if you're new. I'm going to follow this case. We followed the Lori Vallow Daybell case as well if you're new. And that case we've been working on for 4 years and it's not going anywhere. Lori's been convicted, but Chad hasn't. So if you don't know that case, that's another one that has crazy rabbit holes, all kinds of really insane stuff if you don't know it. Most of us that follow my channel know that case inside and out for real. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Veronica. Good. Hi, Veronica. How do you like it? Weekday live in the middle of the day for me. Isn't that cool? I'm excited. So, hey, Stephanie. So complicated case, relationship issues, family dynamics. But yes, still deserves the answers when somebody goes missing. So Brittany, who's Brittany? Brittany Nicole Wallace Shank. She went missing from Sturgis, Michigan, and she was 23 at the time when she went missing. She was last seen on November 30th, 2018, and should be 28 right now. So brown hair, hazel eyes, 5'1", 110 pounds, mother to 4 children, and I will show her picture as well. Let me give you a picture of her real quick. Let's see what my screen. Oh, by the way, my Saturday when my stream was acting up, StreamYard says it's my issue, but I don't think so because I've been using this forever, the same internet connection and everything. So let's see if it happens again. I hope not. Cross fingers. So this is a picture of her. Not sure when it was taken, but this is her. Okay, brown hair, hazel eyes. And I am going to come back so I can see my docs. All right, back to my notes here. So, brown hair, hazel eyes, 5'1", 110 pounds. So she's petite. She's small, thin girl. Mother to four. She's had 4 children. Brittany has. So at her young age, at 23, she had already had 4 children. And, that's a lot. Believe me, I had 4 children by 34 and threw me over the edge a little bit. So the timeline. November 30th, 2018, Brittany asks her boyfriend, Sheldon is his name, if she could borrow his car. It's a red 2006 Mercury Milan, and she wanted to do her laundry at her grandmother's house. She was very close with her grandmother. It's her dad's mom, who she lived with off and on a lot growing up. Yeah, it's a lot at 23, huh, Ruby? So the exact time she left Sheldon's house to get the car and get to grandma's isn't totally written in stone anywhere, from what I can tell. There's 5 witnesses that saw Brittany that night. Grandma, Grandpa, Brittany's uncle Scott, and 4 and 5 are Brittany's 2 cousins. They're Scott's sons. They were 12 and 15 at the time. Brittany, we don't know when she got there, but she was with an unknown guy. She was with a guy. And he was in his 20s, blonde hair, and long sideburns. The height and stature are unknown. I heard somebody say it was tall and big. I heard somebody say it was short and thin. So when I'm listening to the podcast, how they were describing, they did point that out. Okay, so they don't know who he is because of the different descriptions. They don't know who is this dude. It's not her boyfriend because she borrowed his car. So she had recently started dating someone, so it's unsure if the family members who saw Brittany the night she disappeared had met this person before or if he was a new person, which is really confusing, right? Her dad's name is Greg Wallace. He says he thinks it was about 8:30 p.m. that they leave grandma's, and then about 3 miles away they get into a minor car accident. Now I was listening to the podcast a little bit, and there's some talk about something going on around 10 p.m. So yeah, but again, nothing's really clear on the exact timelines. And then they get in this minor car accident. They don't know the cause of the accident. This guy and Brittany fled away from the accident, booked it, gone. And they abandoned the car. Her middle, I think, so what, her middle name is Nicole. So Shank might be one of her married names. That I'm not positive. Lori, do you know? So I see in parentheses, sometimes it says Brittany Wallace, sometimes it says Brittany Shank, and then parentheses Wallace. So it's both names sort of show up. So they don't know the cause of the accident. They dump the car and they book it out of there. Now there's 2 people that wind up seeing Brittany before she disappears. And this is crazy what happens. There's an elderly man. His name is John. He's watching TV and his auto light outside his house, the automatic sensor lights, flicked on. And he opens his door to let his cat in and he sees Brittany. Brittany's there. And she's wearing a pink shirt and either jean shorts or long jeans, no socks or shoes. Her feet are bleeding. Now it's cold. It's like 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, but her dad's name is Wallace, so I'm a little confused about that name stuff, right? Unless maybe her mom's name was Wallace, and that was on her birth certificate. I don't think her parents were ever married. necessarily. So yeah. Okay, she's wearing a pink shirt, either jean shorts or long jeans, no socks or shoes, and her feet are bleeding, and she has scratches on her arm. It was freezing. 32 degrees is cold. Barefoot, bleeding. Why didn't she have her shoes on? I don't know. Did they fly off in the accident? Um, so Brittany, I'm trying to watch the chat too to see if I'm missing anything or if anybody has any uh, uh info. Um, that so this guy, John, that answers the door, he's like kind of alarmed. It's like cold out there. So Brittany tells him, "My boyfriend and I were in an accident." And then she asks to use John's phone. Now, where's Brittany's cell phone? I don't know. Sorry. Um, so he agrees and he offers her to come inside, and she says no. No, I'm not coming inside. You know, that's safe, right? I'm not going to go into a stranger's house. So John grabs his cell phone, hands it to her, and John then goes to get her a sweatshirt. So Brittany first tries to call her grandma, but the call doesn't go through. She then calls 911, but the call fails. And John comes back with this green hoodie for Brittany to wear. And then, sorry, my notes are blurred. I got to get them up here better where I can see better. So, okay, so she calls, John brings her a hoodie for her to, warm her up. And then she says the calls weren't connecting. So he goes and gets his landline. He had a landline and he calls 911. That call was placed at 8:51 p.m. Yeah, I'm wondering about that too, Veronica. Like, did they get in some kind of argument? And, people get arguments and somebody grabs the steering wheel and crashed and they're mad at each other and then whatever. And it's her boyfriend's car or Sheldon, weird, right? So they call 911 at 8:51. And oh, thank you, PLM. I missed that part. Thanks. So so they were at sorts with each other, I guess. So probably not a pleasant ride. So John tells the operator that Brittany had told him that they had been in an accident and her boyfriend took off. As soon as the 911 asks her name, she won't give her name and leaves. John tries to get her to stay, but she's gone, and he tells dispatch is unsuccessful. Now I heard the interview with her dad, and her dad has not heard the 911 call, but he has said that she told him her name on there. So I don't, yeah, weird, right? So Brittany, so John tells the 911 operator the story of what she had told him, and that she had been in an accident and her boyfriend took off, and he tries to get her to stay, but she runs off. Now I'm not sure, like, did she just run off? So then she sees another person, some teenage boy. Now, also in the timeline where I'm at on the podcast, it's not clear which one she went to first, the boy house or John's house. And maybe that clears up later because I am not caught up at all. We're going to have to keep following. So this teenage boy notices Brittany outside near his back door of his house. And while the boy is looking at Brittany, hears a knock on the front door. So this frightens him because burglaries have been an issue in the area. So the boy calls his mom, who then has a neighbor go check on the teen boy. And when the neighbor arrives, both Brittany and whoever was knocking on the door are gone. So gone. Okay. And 1 second. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. I want to send a quick message. So, weird, right? So the teenage boy, like, people are knocking at my door. This is weird and creepy. That was it. Brittany was never seen again. That was it. No Brittany. Almost 5 years ago. So Brittany's case is just crazy, full of red herrings. Almost everyone, literally everyone has basically been a suspect, been investigated. Literally her mom, her dad, her sister, her friends, her estranged husband, boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, cartel, sex traffickers. No answers. And it's kind of weird to have that many theories, right? Usually you're like, there's a person you're super duper suspicious of. So, key players. Jessica's mom, or Brittany's mom, Jessica Rolfe. Brittany's father, Greg Wallace. Ashley is Brittany's friend, and some reason she controls Brittany's Facebook, or has controlled Brittany's Facebook. And okay. Then there's Christina, Brittany's friend, Victor, Brittany's brother, Sheldon, Brittany's boyfriend, grandma, grandpa, and cousins. Also, there is a young woman that I came across on Facebook, and I told her, because she's posting a lot. She must be, she's a friend of Brittany's. Her name is Allie, I think. I'll have to go back and look. Really nice. And she wants Brittany's story out there. So I told her in a comment under the podcast stuff that I was going to be sharing her case. And she was very happy about it, because Brittany's story needs to be told. So there is, I think we wouldn't get copyright strike if I just let you have some, like the Fair Use Act. We can listen to little clips, hopefully. So I'm going to have you listen to a little bit of a clip of the podcast where the first witness, all that stuff. Okay. That when they're talking about it. So hold on one second. Let me just make sure I can get it up. Hopefully my internet thing doesn't go wacko like it did on Saturday. And I think we want timestamp 2447. Okay, season 2447. And I will share my screen. Hopefully you guys can hear it and it doesn't act weird. Just trying to get to that timestamp. What did I say? 2447? Is that what I said? Hey, Trisha the trucker, how are you? Long time no see, lady. Where you been? How is everything? Did I say 2437? 2447. Oh my God. My short-term memory is going. I think I'm going to have to be placed in home soon. 24. I'm going to start right here. Let me share my screen. Let me know if there's an issue with any audio. Remember, Saturday was weird. Things were going wacky. Why isn't this showing up? Anyway. Hold on. I got to share a tab here. I might have to put this in a different tab. Let's see. Let me try again. This is one thing. Oh, share. Okay, got it. It hadn't popped up yet. I know, right, Veronica? Totally need a spreadsheet. We need a murder. Not a murder. I don't want to say it's murder. Maybe she's just disappeared and she's fine, hopefully. But you know, like those crime murder walls, the strings and the Post-it notes. That's what we need. Okay, let me know if there's any audio issues. Ready? Here we go.
Asking the separated husband Bill not to go on the search party for his missing wife probably has more to do with him initially being a person of interest. But Christina's adamant. I'm going to have a hard time getting Greg to talk. Because John had passed away, I was definitely wanting to know more about what she remembered of her conversation with John.
I saw his phone log myself.
The elderly man's?
Yeah, he had the old school flip phone. So I saw the calls from Brittany to Grandma's house, and then the call to the 911 and the call to 911 again after that. So Brittany actually tried to call Grandma first. Grandma didn't answer. So Brittany called 911. It was only a really short call. I think what happened was the call dropped because of where it was at, and he had that flip phone. The bottom line is this. Grandma gave a report of that young man that was with her. There's only so many people that it could have matched. And I'll be honest, like at the time, that fit her current boyfriend.
From what I've read so far is that Grandma did not recognize who the boy was. Like she'd never met him before. If she had a boyfriend, I would have thought that Grandma would already have known of the boyfriend.
Well, boyfriend was actually, and this is according to Jessica, boyfriend has been a family friend for years of Brittany's. Now, if that had been the first time that Brittany brought him over, because Brittany wasn't in that relationship for very long. So if that was like the first time that he'd ever actually came into the house and saw Grandma, Grandma may not have recognized him because it had been so long since she had seen him. Does that make sense?
But Grandma doesn't have any memory challenges, is there?
Like Jessica says that she used to drink a lot. Now that's from Jessica. I spoke to Grandma and I said this to her, and she says, I can't even drink anymore because of the medications that I'm on. The other thing, it wasn't just Grandma that was there. Brittany's uncle was there and two of her cousins were there, and they all seen this boy. So nobody could identify him if they saw him.
The boyfriend at the time, you don't know his name?
Yeah, Sheldon.
I immediately started drafting my Facebook message to Sheldon. I came across a few Facebook accounts for him, so I messaged all of them. Speaking of Facebook, Christina started telling me how something odd had recently happened between her and one of Brittany's Facebook accounts.
Her most current one, I was her friend on there, and it's gone. I don't know where it went. It's been gone for a few months now. And I said something to Ashley. I said, is there a reason why I can't find Brittany's page? And she's like, yeah, that's a good question. The reason why I said that to Ashley is because Ashley has had the controls over Brittany's Facebook. And she knows I know that.
What's Ashley's last name?
On Facebook, it's Ashley Marie.
Yes, I've seen her post before. So, Ashley, a friend of Britt's, somehow has control over Brittany's Facebook account. Christina confronts Ashley about Brittany's Facebook no longer being friends with Christina. I'd like to point out, Brittany had multiple Facebook accounts. The Facebook account in question is the account Brittany was using when she went missing. At this point in time, I had already sent Brittany's dad, Greg, a Facebook message requesting to speak. I hadn't.
Okay, that's that part I wanted you to listen to about the 911 call and a little bit more info there. And of course, you can go find this podcast. It's on Apple, Spotify, everything, and listen to the whole thing. I am only on episode 3. I fell asleep last night when I was playing, and I have to go all the way back because I have no idea what happened. I missed it. Yeah, right, Veronica? It's confusing. Seriously, that's just weird, right? What? You've seen her before, but you don't know who it is, but their family friend? Wait, what? Okay. So then, okay, she put another timestamp here for me to share. So Victor, Brittany's brother, explains how he and Brittany were estranged from their mom due to drugs and abandonment. So we'll play that a little bit. Let me bring that up for you. Let me get the right timestamp on 3020. Got it. And of course, I will put the link to this podcast in my show notes here so that everybody can have access to it, and we'll give James the credit he deserves. Okay, now that one went away again. I don't know what the heck. It's like super weird. Oh, maybe I have to click on it. Okay, now I know what I'm doing wrong. I have all my tabs separated, and I think the problem is, that's probably what my problem was Saturday too. What the heck, man? Come on. You were just here. There you go. Got it. Okay.
seems to be a strong divide between some of Brittany's family members. But I was finally able to make contact with Brittany's brother, Victor.
First, I need to clarify a couple things about Jessica. So her and I, we don't speak. We haven't spoken months. She'll randomly send me some drug-infused method message, and that's what I get in my inbox, but we don't communicate. She left me when I was like 15 for a dude up in the UP of Michigan. At 16, I was deemed homeless by the state of Michigan. Like, that's public knowledge too. I mean, you can go search my name on the internet and you'll find stuff about that. I don't know if the relationship between Brittany and my mom has ever really came out, but it was bad. When Brittany went missing, they were not on talking terms. Did you ever hear the recording? It was messages recording going back and forth between them. Yeah, okay.
Obviously, Brittany and her mother Jessica's relationship was not under the best of terms when Brittany went missing. As Victor explained it, the two were not speaking. He asked if I had heard the voice messages between Jessica and Brittany. On one of the Facebook group pages, there's a video clip showing someone holding a phone and playing the audio voice memos. I'm going to play you.
Okay, so this is pretty disturbing, this voice message. Now, when they interviewed her mom, it was she had some semi-logical explanation for what she said to Brittany, but this is a heated message. So I'm going to play it for you right now. And again, let's see. Look, you guys are all experts already. Grandma says later that Sheldon was hard for the family to describe because he lost 60 pounds, dyed his naturally red hair blonde, and grew big sideburns and started wearing silky yellow tracksuits. Right. Okay. Yeah, I saw that you made that. So weird. So was that Sheldon? Like, that we don't know, right? We still don't know if the guy she was with was Sheldon or not, or maybe we know later. I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know. So, okay, let's play this voicemail because this is pretty disturbing, really, truly. I'm going to do it right now.
Play you those clips. You don't see who the person behind the recorder is, but they play each audio in order. Just a warning, it's a hard listen. Here's Jessica.
First off, you destroyed yourself. You are a toxic waste to everything and everybody you touch. Secondly, no, I'm not going to threaten you about jail. I'm not going to threaten you about Daniel. I am kind of threatening you about Daniel. But you need to shut your fucking big ass mouth. Don't be making phone calls. Don't be sending fucking people to sending messages. Like, you are full of shit and everybody knows it. Everybody knows you can't have kids. Brittany, you're not fucking pregnant. You're sick in the head. There's something wrong with you. Seek help. That's what you need to do. Immediately. You fuck with people's lives. You fucking tormented mine. You torment your dads. You torment everybody's. You torment Daniel. You torment your children. You fucking suck, dude. You suck. You suck the life right out of fucking people. Nobody likes you. We do not want to talk to you. We do not want to hear from you. Trust and believe God would not be as stupid to give you another chance and give you life again. He would not be that fucking retarded.
This is Brittany.
Yep, and you're blocked again. And no, actually, I'm doing fucking great. Thank you. But you have a good one. And don't contact me anymore. You're not my mom. You mean nothing to me. And as far as Daniel, that was my closure. I don't really give a fuck. Other than that, I don't have anything to say. Daniel's a worthless piece of shit who will never amount to anything, nor be anything. He's a big-ass fucking dope head, and I don't want anything to do with that or anybody who does it. So, have a nice life. Stop contacting me. And no, I get to see my kids on a regular basis. All of them. Thank you.
Stop texting him, stop calling him, stop emailing him, stop everything, stop having people contact him. Or I am going to let everybody know where little Miss Brittany is at. And I'm going to ruin your life. Stay the fuck away from everybody.
I was just granted visitation with my boys, so it doesn't really matter. You do you and I'll do me. and you can live your dope style life with Daniel and let him keep ruining your life too. He's a piece of shit. I don't give a fuck about him. And I moved back out of state, so it doesn't really matter. And yep, that's why my dad talks to me on a regular basis now too, huh? And as far as Daniel goes, I'm with somebody, so I don't really give a shit. Like I said, that was just my closure. I could care less about him.
There is a lot to unpack here, but this exchange between Brittany and her mother, Jessica, happened October 31st, a month before Brittany disappeared. The two talk about...
All right, so, that's pretty rough, really rough, for real. I'm going to stop sharing so we can talk a little bit. That's rough, huh? Pretty crazy family dynamics for sure. But yeah, Sue said that. Somebody said the mom sounds worse. I agree. She sounds a lot worse than Brittany's side of that whole thing. And this is a month before Brittany disappears. So sounds really threatening and stuff, right? Really kind of bizarre. Okay, let me get my notes back here because there's a lot. I'll follow notes or I won't be able to know what the heck we're talking about. So much to follow. Okay. So I lost my place. So then there's a little bit where Ashley's explaining part of the case, which helps a lot. Right? Can you imagine, Trisha? Like what? I mean, my kids, they bring up things that I told them I was gonna ship them off to boarding school and stuff like that. And they're like, you told us, like, that was horrible for them. So can you imagine? And as adults, and there's also, and I don't know if Lori put this in here, but just like little preview alert, Mom and Brittany had same boyfriends several times. Like she dated Brittany's exes and so it's really bizarre. Okay. So then let's listen to this again. This is another little piece here about where Ashley is explaining this case. And Ashley was the best friend at the time. And let's hope it pops back up again. Here. Okay, wait. 3757. Let me get it in the right place. I know some of you are just like ditching my whole thing to go listen because it's very interesting. No, you're not. I'm just kidding. Okay, hold on. Let's share.
I started to think the same thing. But then she says this.
And like I said in the message to you, I've got probably the most damning piece of evidence in my possession right now.
Do you really?
From her account, yeah.
Okay.
From the moment Britt went missing, a voicemail to her from Daniel Walters saying, you won't like my next move. The very moment she went missing, 8:58 p.m., November 30th, 2018.
Ashley said she has probably the most damning piece of evidence in her possession right now. It's a voicemail left on Jessica's phone. Ashley says it's from a man named Daniel Walters telling Jessica, you won't like my next move. This voicemail happens the day Brittany disappears, November 30th at 8:58 p.m. Ashley sent me the voicemail. Before sharing with you, I'd like to add that there are more than one voicemail from this particular male, who Ashley claims is Daniel Walters. His phone number and voicemails will be our focus for now. November 30th, 2018. Voicemail number 1, 2:11 p.m.
Hey, get a hold of me here soon. All right. See ya.
Voicemail number 2, 5:59 p.m.
What the hell's going on here? I hope you ain't playing fucking games with me. I swear to God, I will find you.
Voicemail number 3, 8:58 p.m.
You ain't gonna like my next move, I'm telling you. You better get a hold of me.
My initial thoughts. Ashley could be onto something here. How bizarre is it that this man leaves Jessica a voicemail saying, "You're not going to like my next move," just minutes after Brittany and the unknown male get into a minor accident? I quickly jump onto Google Maps. I start pinpointing how long it would take Brittany to walk from the accident to John's. Remember, Brittany's barefoot. It's 32 degrees out with freezing fog. According to maps, it's roughly about a 10-minute walk. An important detail to remember, John said Brittany's feet were bleeding, and she also had scratches on her arms. Was the bleeding from her feet because she was trying to hurry to John?
Okay, I think that was that one. So crazy, as we say. Okay, so that's bizarre. Daniel, who she was talking crap with her mom on, left her that on the day she went missing? Weird, right? Threatening too, again. I might have to listen to this podcast 3 times to get it all. Yeah, that was the one. So, I think I missed part of what I was gonna play on. Well, let me go back a little bit because I jumped ahead. That was the one with the voicemails from Daniel Walters. So, I mean, listen that like that. You're not gonna like my next move. It's insane and very threatening. And then she goes missing. But it was at 37. I think I missed the part where I wanted you to hear Ashley explaining something. So hold on, let me get to it. Let's try this and go.
We take lightly. This is not someone or up for grabs for someone looking for views or a quick shot to fame.
It wasn't long after messaging her, we jumped on a video call. This being our first conversation, I had some convincing to do. Remember, Ashley has a lot of information that I want to know about, and she seems to be steering the ship.
Today is not about us going over all the details, going over what the purpose of this phone call is it's one, introduce myself, to explain what I do, how I do it, why I do it, and then asking for your support in that process.
Okay.
I was explaining to Ashley how my show focuses on one case for the entire season.
And that's good. It brings awareness, and that's great. My approach is a little bit more, I want to focus on one through the entire season because
two seasons for this.
If you missed that, Ashley said, you might need 2 seasons for this. With all of Ashley's information, I started to think the same thing. But then she says this.
And like I said in the message to you, I've got probably the most damning piece of evidence in my possession right now.
Do you really?
From her account, yeah.
Okay.
From the moment Britt went missing, a voicemail to her from Daniel Walters saying, "You won't like my next move." The very moment she went missing, 8:58 p.m., November 30th, 2018.
Ashley said she has probably the most damning piece of evidence in her possession right now. It's a voicemail left on Jessica's phone. Ashley says it's from a man named Daniel Walters telling Jessica, "You won't like my next move." This voicemail happens the day Brittany disappears, November 30th at 8:58 p.m.
Okay, so I played that kind of out of order, but that was the time she went missing. I missed that part, like literally right when she went missing. Weird. Okay, what is this one? What is the suspect board, Lori? Let me see. Hide and seek suspect board. Oh, okay. This is on the Lori. This is the final chapter. Am I in the right place? Let me know. Because on my notes that you gave me that you put together, it says hide and seek podcast link suspect board, and it's episode 40. Anyway, so I'm gonna wait for Lori to answer that question. because I don't want to go too far out of order here. Okay. Now, again, a lot of this stuff apparently gets cleared up. Like Jessica's mom's threat, Daniel's threat eventually gets kind of cleared up, but we need to listen to the whole thing. Obviously to figure it out. And I'm not caught up, so I am a little bit still, but I'm intrigued with the case. So it is going to be my new cleaning, walking around, having my earpods in binge till I get through it. So there's also a news report that I'll play here. There's a link to that. Let me grab that. And I have to get the audio on. Okay. Let me share this news report about it. Okay, I'll go back after I do this. Okay. See, I do have back, what are those called? Producers and people in the back. I just got to figure out how to get her in here. We got to work on that. How I can get you backstage at the same time to control some of this stuff. That would be awesome. Okay, hold on. Here we go. I mean, Scott Reich has somebody in the background doing all this, right? I want to be that. I want to be like that. All right, here we go. Oops, let me try. I got to switch. Share this screen instead. Okay, hold on.
Of a missing West Michigan woman who mysteriously vanished is speaking out tonight.
No, go away.
4 years ago today, Brittany Shank was last seen alive trying to get...
Hold on.
Of a missing West Michigan woman who mysteriously vanished is speaking out tonight. 4 years ago today, Brittany Shank was last seen alive trying to get help after crashing her car in a ditch outside Sturgis. News Channel 3's Mike Krafik live in the studio now to explain how this case is gaining global attention.
Yeah, Andy, and this is a case with more questions than answers right now. The disappearance of Brittany Shank, known as Brittany Wallace, did get more attention after that podcast was launched dedicated to this case back in April. The St. Joseph County Sheriff's Office says it continues to investigate, but has chased down many rumors that never panned out. Wallace's mother says her daughter, who had several children, had no reason to run away from her life.
I brought we made some new flyers, and I brought them out to you.
Jessica Rolfe is living a nightmare.
I feel like I'm going to wake up from this nightmare.
So that's her mom. So then this is recent because this is since this podcast has come out, right? Oh, Daniel. Okay. Hillam says Daniel is one of the two men who dated both mother and daughter, which makes sense when you hear his message a little bit, right? Yeah. Because she said, I'm seeing somebody now. Brittany did in that conversation. Okay, I'll go back to this news report.
Any day, it's got to happen, and it just hasn't yet. I will leave this one here.
A bad dream now stretching for years.
The corner that she went up missing out was that curve.
It started on this stretch of Fawn River Road outside Sturgis on November 30th, 2018.
She came up to this driveway, and
her daughter, Brittany Wallace, emerged from a minor car wreck, bloodied, without a coat and socks. Detectives say she called for help. A nearby homeowner was believed to be the last person to see the then 23-year-old alive. After 4 years of searching, no sign of Brittany has turned up. The St. Joseph County Sheriff's Office has done numerous searches in the area where Brittany was last seen, including recently. The lead detective on the case says they're not ruling out any possibility of how she may have disappeared. He says at this point, no evidence has emerged to suggest that Brittany was killed by anyone else.
I don't feel Brittany chose to leave on her own accord. I think something happened that night, unfortunately.
James Basinger has a true crimes podcast.
If you don't know anything about how she disappeared, you don't know what happened to her.
It's called Hide and Seek. The third season is dedicated solely to Brittany Wallace's case.
Someone who's calling 911 isn't somebody who's looking to run away. He's leaving the scene for a reason. As we dive into Brittany's case, you find out some of those reasons as to why.
Basinger says he's interviewed 200 people connected to Wallace. He says he's uncovering clues he thinks could help law enforcement. Do you see any light at the end of the tunnel?
I do. Ultimately, we need the law enforcement and we need the sheriff's office to take over in this, right?
Rolf says she hopes the spotlight in her daughter's case will eventually lead to more answers she's been dreaming for.
The awareness of it is crucial. It's to keep her face out there and to keep her face in the public.
Now, Wallace's mother spent her day handing out hundreds of those missing posters all across St. Joseph County. Now, investigators say they have not ruled out one factor that Wallace may have succumbed to the conditions in the wooded area near the crash scene. But anyone with information is urged to contact the St. Joseph County Sheriff's Office. Live in the studio, Mike Kravesick, News Channel 3.
Okay, so that's that update there. And they're still looking. But if she succumbed to the elements, where's the dude? Where'd he go? Right? Did he succumb too? No, I don't think or did they just go in different directions? And why was there two people knocking on that boy's house when he saw Brittany? I have a lot of questions. I know, right? Well, definitely, this can be our weekday follow for now, this case, for sure. Okay, because I have Monday half days now, but I did take another job, so I might have to work sometimes on Mondays, but we'll see. You don't think they still don't know who the guy is? Wow, so weird. Okay, I'm going to go here where Lori gave this other link. It's at 611, and see. She was picking like some good spots for me to share. Okay, we will share. All right, let's see what she's got here.
That he passed.
I'm just curious of why my name even came out. I never met the girl. I didn't know her mom.
You listen to Pocket recall his time spent with Ashley. And ultimately, we see he ends up back in prison before Brittany disappeared.
And did she ever stay the night there?
Nope. She was she was trying to, but Ashley wouldn't quit fighting with everybody. Causing problems, drawing attention that didn't need to be drawn, just drama bullshit.
Do you feel like Ashley was jealous of Brittany at all?
Oh, hell yeah. She was accusing me of fucking, and I only been around her once or twice, and never by myself. Allegedly.
Chris Pontius shared his thoughts, experiences, and insights that later proved to be a bit more interesting than we initially thought.
I never even met Brittany. When Pocket went to jail, I went over there a few times just because I was in the neighborhood. Kind of felt out of place, but at the same time, I was resting.
Okay, so I literally don't know who these people are yet because this is episode 40, Lori. I don't feel like they fit where I'm at in the timeline, but let me know if I'm messing up. Okay. Let's see. It might be the wrong link or something. All right, so who is with Brittany? She says it was her boyfriend, but her boyfriend was Sheldon. Oh, I'm not? Was that the right place? Okay. Should I go back? Should I keep going right there? Let me know. Okay. The witnesses said they didn't know him. What caused the crash? Where did the scratches come from? What was she running through brush or this or that? And then why did she leave John's house right when he called 911? You want me to go back? Okay. And Brittany had a cell phone. So where was Brittany's cell phone after the accident? And right. Okay. I'm going to go back. Lori says go back. Okay.
And I didn't care. It was like, boom, all of a sudden she had money. Where did it come from? That's what I'm saying. Whatever happened to Brittany, I don't know what happened to her, but I got a feeling that there was a lot of people involved in it. Somebody initiated the whole thing, and I don't think everybody knew what was going to happen. A very small percentage of the people knew what was really going to happen. And they got a bunch of people drawn in, create a group that they can control through this secret or whatnot through that. I stated my piece to everybody, and it kind of split the groups. The cartel was after the one guy, that took my side on things, you know what I'm saying? So the whole thing was weird. The only thing I could trace it back to is Ashley showing up with all this money, which makes her the, ace deuce coon culprit if she don't have no explanation for that money. Maybe Eric had the money, but I doubt it. Her and Eric were real tight during that point in time. You know what I'm saying? And I've been wanting to tell somebody this. I've been telling people this. You know what I'm saying?
That's not what you thought. Also, Eric is an ex, and I am on. I started looking at Facebook, and that's how I found, because of the episodes, and there was comments, and there was let me see if I can show you, between Eric, who is ex-husband, and let's see if I find it. Let me find this tab. I gotta go to my photos. I think I screenshotted it. I'm going the wrong way. Is that it? Back. This is not it. Sorry, I'm working on where I screenshotted this. Might have been earlier. Nope. All right. Well, I don't know where it is. Thought I did it. So all I'm going to say is what I was trying to show you here is apparently people are accusing this Eric and basically saying that charges are going to come against him. So weird. And Eric was her ex, or was her husband. She was actually still married at the time, I think. Ex-husband. I don't know. Episode 40, 31. No, it says 611. Okay, let me go up. 30. 31:45. Okay, we're going back again. I guess we are learning all these things together. 30. What did she say? 31:45. Okay, 31:45. All right, I got it. Let's share. Hi, Jenny.
Talk to you now, ASAP 911. She's told me about rumors and leaves me voice messages and long ass talk to text messages. It just wasn't that. Okay, well, we wait. Hey, can you see me?
James?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What's going on?
All right. I'm walking over. I just walked over to a friend's because I knew these people were there.
Who were the friends?
Okay. Just, you gotta keep their names quiet, but oh my God. So, okay. So he was there. He was there. He was there too. I have a whole, I wrote down the list. James, they kept her in a basement, down in the basement, and they kept her in a basement and some water. There's like water down there. It was like a couple of fucking, like this deep, like this water was like this deep, James. water was about this deep, and it's a Michigan basement, and their house is gross. It's just a little bitty thing. It's just a shack. They did put her in a dog cage. They did, and they kept her there for 2 weeks, James. And that's why there's so many people, because so many people came through there to rape her, and then she ended up dying from like malnutrition. There's a bunch was there. He was there too. Everybody, so many people, James.
Okay,
That's
who's providing you this information? And what's role in this? Like, how does he know this information?
Wrong. He was there. He says he's there.
This is what makes this testimony different. This is nothing that we've ever heard before. For someone to say that they saw Brittany after she went missing, that's a strong lead.
Him and were there. They came there. All these people that I know were there. All of them.
Okay, so let's go back to real quick.
Okay.
Says he was there and he saw Brittany there. He said it was after November 30th, after she'd been reported missing?
Yes, she was there for 2 weeks, yes.
Whose house was she at? Didn't they just do a search at?
Yeah, and said that they didn't go back out. They didn't check the ponds out back, but that's not what said what happened. They put her in a barrel and they fucking poured acid all over her. That's what they did to her.
How do we? Okay, did tell you that?
Yes, they were all out there. Wrong place, wrong time. He said. That's what he says.
What did they do with the barrel?
I don't know. I have all these names, James. There's so many, James. There's so many. That's why there's so many. It's because they all.
Okay, I want to go back to testimony though. He said that she was there in the basement at.
Okay, this is huge, right? This is huge. I'll keep Lori. You want me to keep going with this? So finish this phone call. But I gotta go watch. I gotta go listen to this whole darn podcast now. Like I am hooked. And Brittany's case definitely needs attention. Hopefully some other people will pick it up too. Okay, here.
House.
Yes.
And he said a number of people came in and had raped Brittany.
Yes.
And that it was after 2 weeks that she had then been.
And she died because of malnutrition.
I'm still trying to figure this out. So who's responsible for keeping her there? Like who's in charge?
There's some more key names, but these guys are all really tight. Like this is a clique that's so tight that it is in shock. But I'm in shock, but I'm not. Like I have to get out of here. I will have to leave here immediately. Like I'm not even playing. I know all these people for so fucking long.
This is really important for testimony.
Yeah.
There's no sugarcoating it. He's very direct. He was there.
Yes. Listen, to the point where his girlfriend, they just got into a fight because she had to give up her kids because she's been protecting this whole story this whole time because he's told her, she knows.
Admit to sexually doing anything with her?
He said no. He said him nor did. But they were definitely there, he says. After Brittany first went missing, about probably a month later, there was some talk about Brittany possibly had been out there at house or something, and everybody, well, regardless, everybody was out there talking about it. So I go to and I said, what do you know about Brittany? Like, I'm hearing this and hearing this. He's got tears streaming down his face, James, tears streaming down his face. And he says, I didn't know that was your daughter. Like, what is that supposed to mean? So I said, what is that supposed to mean? What do you mean this shouldn't matter? Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Who was out at her grandma's with her.
Was out there with her?
Yep.
At grandma's house?
All this information. I don't know if I believe that part of it because I think that somebody else was probably out there with her, but they're putting it on. That's what I feel like. Was the fuck out there? Was the fuck out there? All of them were out there at some point in time. Within those 2 weeks, they were all out there. They all knew she was there.
Okay.
All of them.
Hey, breathe, okay? Breathe. You're all right. At this point in our conversation, I find it crucial to pause and reflect on what we've just heard from Jessica. The details she shared.
Okay. Wow. That's crazy. Also, okay, I found this, what I was talking about. Let me share this too real quick. Let's see if I can. Let's see. Find out. Stop screen. Ah! Okay. This. So they're talking about the podcast on this Facebook page, which is somebody that's really trying to get Brittany's story out there, this Allie. But it says, she says, what's so funny, Eric Scott Shank, which is the husband. And she says, I know where he works too. He likes chicken strips with honey mustard. I don't know what that's all about, but it says, Eric replies and says, what's funny is people think I'm hiding. LOL. No, I go in public daily. I have a full-time job and you don't know me that well. If you did, you would know that chicken strips make me sick and honey mustard is disgusting. Okay, whatever. But that's not the part. They're calling him a liar, and you're probably going to lie about your missing wife too. And then what did Eric do with the back of Brittany's phone? And then he says, LOL, you think I ate that shit? No, I gave it to someone else. They're talking about these chickens. This is like a double conversation. And then they're just like, what'd you do with Brittany's phone matches? And it says, if Eric has nothing to hide, why is he still hiding and allow Ashley to run over him daily with the tour bus? And then he said, don't feel like asking because it's a waste of my time. But anyway, so apparently no polygraph. You think you would want to take one to clear yourself. Brittany is your wife and all. And then he says, I told her to say it because I was busy eating chickens or whatever. The chicken strips thing, I don't get. But anyway, it's their thing. I feel bad for yours, Eric's and Brittany's children. Poor kids are going to grow up one day and wonder what happened. And they're going to look back on all this and see how you acted. So anyway, she's really given Eric, the husband, a hard time over this. And there's a lot of conversations, side conversations and stuff going on with the Facebook pages. So, and they're public. So anyway, that's bizarre, right? And again, there's a lot. There goes my thing acting weird again. I got to tell StreamYard because they think it's my problem, but it's not. Okay. Then in March of 2023, March 14th, a Sturgis resident, Jackie Millman, was instrumental in organizing an hour-long event. She never had met Brittany. She said keeping the case in the public's eye is critical and will probably lead to the break that has eluded investigators for the past 4 or 5 years. She said it's time for our community to stand behind Brittany's family, encourage them and support them as they continue to seek answers in this case. And Milliman was more than one of a half dozen people who spoke during this program. She said it's critical to remind investigators not to forget about their obligation to solve the case. And she stirred the crowd after saying it's time to bring Brittany home and it's time for justice for Brittany. And let me share this picture with you of what they were doing here. So that's what this is all about. Or justice for Brittany. So people are really starting to be like, okay, this is enough of this. This needs to be out there. So family members and friends took the makeshift stage and expressed their similar sentiments. Mary reminded the crowd that although Shank had personal issues she was working to resolve, her family deserves justice and closure. And other recalls Shank as a young lady with a contagious smile who brightened the world with her frequent laughter. So, yeah, she had a rough childhood. Her mom brought her to her dad's when she was 2 years old and just said, here, take her. Most of the time, she was with her paternal grandmother. And obviously, this family had a lot of dynamics. There's an interview with her dad that's super heartbreaking. He just breaks down crying, you know, about his daughter. And then her mom is expressing gratitude, the family, and you saw the mom out there passing out flyers and stuff. But you never know, right? You never know, because the guilty people usually, a lot of times, just put themselves right in the middle of everything as if they're this caring person. So who knows if she had anything. That conversation was really crazy with that last conversation that Jessica had. Yeah, her dad, it was heartbreaking. I was like, so sad, so sad. Like, can you imagine? I just can't imagine one of my kids going missing and not knowing, not knowing. I don't remember where it was. It's like in season 2, part 2 somewhere. The dad clip. Okay, so she's like, a lot of people don't know Brittany. We don't know Brittany, but this momentum will help get justice. And it does. Like these podcasts and stuff, a lot of them like look at what's his face from the up in Santa Rosa area. What oh my gosh, I'm having a blank. But look at that case, all of a sudden finally got solved. This guy was out living his life, the college dorm. Well, PLM, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's the Paul Your Own Backyard podcast. What's her name? And then and just different podcasts have really helped a lot. So I think that this James guy is doing a really good service to help this family. Hold on, Diane, let's ask these guys. Does the podcast give more info about the local interstate drug situation? Are Jessica and Angel's users? I believe Jessica had or has a drug issue, or had or has, from what I'm gathering. And then they're talking about the cartel stuff, which was weird, right? And Ashley has all this money. Paul Flores, yes, that's the one. He finally got convicted. And he, went for a long time. But the podcast is what really brought all this. Kristen Smart was Paul Flores, yes. The guy who killed Kristen Smart was Paul Flores, and the podcast makes sure it wasn't swept under the rug. So, that's what we want to do. We don't want to cause drama having YouTube channels, true crime channels. We just want to spread awareness. Their cases are interesting. The people deserve. Oh, Ashley. Yeah. Yeah, good question. These people on this Facebook thing are kind of pointing fingers at Ashley from what I can tell. So there's some weirdness going on for sure. And Ashley has this control of her, of Brittany's Facebook page, and Ashley really inserted herself in the beginning big time. So now Jessica says that she is asking that we get Brittany's missing person case to a no body homicide. That way it will allow law enforcement to secure more resources, she said. If the shoe was on the other foot and your daughter was missing, I promise you my daughter would be out there looking just as diligently as we have been. So she's really pushing to have this turn into a no body homicide. So there must be even more that point the finger at somebody, right? Oh no. And then that Milliman lady, she says, I know if this were my daughter, I'd appreciate the community support, whether they knew me or not. She said, after listening to this podcast, it became apparent that we as a community need to step up and come alongside this family, this group of friends, and support them. Brittany is so much more than a missing person. She's more than this person on the podcast. She's a mother, a daughter, a sister, and a friend. The identity of the guy in the car with her is still unknown. And then somebody knows who he is. Somebody out there knows who the heck he is. How did he leave the area that night? Somebody knows that he left the crash scene. Who picked him up? And they want that person to come forward, whoever knows about who that guy was. Give the family the answers they need. Somebody knows something, for real. Let me give you some more pictures of her that I can show you before we wrap up. Where's everybody going? Everybody's leaving. So here's Brittany. And then there's another news clip. Yeah. So let me get that up and then we'll end because everybody has left. Okay. Everybody go eat lunch or dinner, maybe. Let me get this up. It might mess up I might start Gene Jerky again. I can tell I'm freezing up again. So weird. Okay. Oh, this is a COVID vaccine ad. Is there an this is from Allie. It says, I think this is what Allie posted, right? So Brittany disappeared 5 years ago, and at that time, there's been very little progress in finding the one responsible for her disappearance. Allie has led the charge in spreading awareness about the cause, as she most recently shared on Facebook. And this is what Allie said. This is what I was trying to find earlier, too. Does reading this make you uncomfortable? I'm sorry, not sorry, because this is real life. Brittany was a 23-year-old mother of 4 who went missing from Sturgis, Michigan, November 30th, 2018. In 7 weeks, it'll be 5 years since Brittany disappeared from Fawn River Road. If you don't have time to listen, or if this case is too complicated for you to understand, just simply share Brittany's name and by telling your loved ones. The more we spread Brittany Wallace Shank's name, the more of a chance she has at coming home. I'm keeping the faith in the St. Joseph Sheriff's Office and the Sturgis PD to do that. And the podcast that discusses, or which we're talking about, through Spotify, Apple, everything. It's called Hide and Seek. And Allie had a message for the person responsible for her disappearance. She says, I hope this status finds those responsible for Brittany's disappearance, and I hope it makes you uncomfortable. Brittany's army is locked in arms. So her friend Allie is really drumming up the bandwagon on this. And she's the one that I messaged and told her I was going to be doing my live stream today about the case. And she was very grateful about it. So they really want us to talk about this case. And is this, I don't think this is is this an, let's see, hold on. Is this just ads or is there a news brief here, Lori? Let's see. Keeps doing the same thing. So I guess it's just a news brief. These are missing children in Michigan. I don't see. This is not a video. Okay. So as we know, it needs to be shared. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, maybe. That stuck through the whole time. I'm frozen up again. I'll probably unfreeze here in a minute. So we definitely have a few more pictures of Brittany to share. So you guys have a visual. And this is her. And it looks like she has tattoos that could be recognizable, but 5 years. All right. So those are the pictures. And let's see. Okay, so this is one thing that Behringer had said, and I'll read this to you. It says, when I read Brittany's story, I was perplexed by the details surrounding her case. How is it possible no one knows who the male was with Brittany the night she disappeared? He says, during my investigation, we discovered that Brittany's social media information has continued to be tampered with. During my season, we watched her Facebook profiles disappear. Who and why someone would do that is a question. I believe as a question needs to be asked. When someone goes missing, the spouse, the husband, the wife should always be a person of interest from day one. I don't feel Brittany's separated husband has adequately been looked at by law enforcement. I hope the community surrounding Brittany's case will continue to show that's that Eric who's engaged to somebody. I hope the community surrounding Brittany's case will continue to show Brittany and her family the support they need. This is every parent's worst nightmare. Brittany's parents, Jessica and Greg, live with that daily. A nightmare that never ends and repeats from the moment they wake up until they go to bed. Continue to spread awareness. Talk about Brittany's story when the opportunity allows. And then he said, when he asked the family members, what's the hardest part? And the answer was not knowing. And we hear that all the time, right? The not knowing is just so big. I mean, remember when Kay and Larry found out that they found JJ and Tylee, they just broke down, but they finally got an answer so that justice could start to be, wheels of justice in motion. And that's what Brittany needs. So that's crazy that somebody's still tampering with their account. Somebody has access. Somebody's doing her Facebook. That's really bizarre, right? I have a lot of questions too. I'm as far as you are, Diana. And like Lori gave me all this info and I'm like, oh, I'm intrigued. I'm going to share this. We're going to get this out there. But I wanted to get this out there before I read the whole thing so we could keep up talking about it. So we will definitely talk about it some more. Lindsay was here earlier and she has some really good YouTube connections. So hopefully she will share it as well. And then that's it. Anybody got anything else to add before we end? Oh, thank you. You guys are so sweet. All right, that's it. Thank you everybody who was here. And I think that's it. Am I missing anything that we wanted to add, Lori, before we end? I don't think so, right? But we'll do more. We can talk about it again Saturday. I'm going to get caught up. We will have a live stream on Saturday, so we'll definitely cover more of this. And then everybody that's listened to the whole podcast can chime on in. In fact, why don't we have a call in on Saturday to talk about things, people that want to pop in. Okay. Oh, good. Yay. I'm glad Lindsay sent you here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, we love Lindsay. We love Lindsay. Lindsay we are big Lindsay fans. Me and Lori, and we met her at Lori Vallow Daybell's trial, and we really appreciate her and love her, and she's super helpful. So glad you came. Yeah, Lori, we love Lindsay. She's just a kind of person, you know what I mean? You meet her and you're like, I like you. You got a good spirit. You got that good aura about you. So yeah, definitely. Hope I see her again. I want to go to Chad's trial. So hopefully we'll run into her. Thank you, Lori, for your help. I really appreciate it when my mods can kind of dig stuff up. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, she's our people. Thank you for coming back. We'll keep going with it for sure. And what was I going to say? I think that's it. I think we're good. My StreamYard, I got to go get a hold of them because they want me to do a speed test on my computer, but it doesn't make any sense because my work phone is connected to the same internet and it is perfect. And I got a really fast speed because my phone. And then they were like, oh no, it still could be this and that. So I got to find out if it's them or me because I don't like this breaking up stuff. Like, can you see it right now? It's bugging me. Once I start sharing, it starts doing that weird thing. So, okay. So that's it, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Stay safe and well. And we'll talk about it on Saturday. All righty. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate you. Look at me trying to get out of here. Like, oh, I can't find the door. Help me get out. See you later, everyone. Thank you so much.